6:49 now. This is your morning in 8 minutes. New this morning, Holly Piper has been found safe. The 16-year-old was in Mississippi and is safe, according to the TBI. The TBI issued an Amber Alert for Piper after she was last seen in Knoxville on Saturday, leaving the cookout on Cumberland Avenue with her boyfriend. 18-year-old Dylan Usry is now in custody. Both Usry and Piper were found by Mississippi Highway Patrol around 1 o'clock this morning. Police say he has an extensive criminal history and believe he may have forced Piper to leave against her will. Right now, a bill that would restrict drag shows in public or in front of minors here in Tennessee is one step closer to becoming law.
The new bill passed the House, but now heads back to the Senate after an amendment was added to it. If approved, drag shows would not be allowed on public property, and anyone under 18 would not be allowed to watch them. Lawmakers who support the bill say it does not restrict drag shows altogether. They just want to say where and who can watch them. In response, Knox Pride says this infringes on First Amendment rights and it will be forced to make drastic changes to its Pride Festival. If signed by the governor, it would go into law on April 1st. Meanwhile, a bill to ban gender-altering medical care for minors is also heading to the governor's desk after passing the House. The bill's Republican sponsors say it's about protecting children from making a life-changing decision at such a young age. The ACLU is threatening a lawsuit over the bill. Governor Lee has said he will sign it. And right now, the body cam footage showing the moments leading up to a woman's death after being in KPD custody is now being released. We do want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see are hard to watch.
The officers involved will not face charges, but are still on administrative leave as KPD continues its internal investigation. Police were called to Fort Sanders Medical Center after the hospital says Lisa Edwards was discharged and refused to leave. In the video, Edwards is heard repeatedly telling officers that she's having trouble breathing as they're trying to make the arrest for trespassing. But officers think she's faking it. The officers finally get her in a KPD cruiser, and that's where she became unresponsive. Edwards was taken back to Fort Sanders, where she was placed on life support until she died of a stroke the next day. Again, the DA's office says no charges will be filed against the officers involved. You can watch the full video in the WVLT News App. Well, right now, two East Tennessee girls high school basketball teams are now facing punishment following a fight during a playoff game. A few players from Fulton and Lenoir City fought during the game, and security jumped in after fans from both schools came onto the court. The TSSAA is placing Lenoir City and Fulton's girls basketball teams on probation. Lenoir City will also pay a $500 fine, while Fulton will pay $1,000. 4 more people are charged and accused of bringing drugs to East Tennessee from Detroit, Michigan. As part of an ongoing investigation, East Tennessee law enforcement found meth, cocaine, fentanyl, and guns. Joshua Simmons, Scotty Burton, Summer Simpson, and Christopher James are all facing multiple charges.
This morning, we're getting our first look at the brush fire we told you about in Sevier County. This is in the Claybo Mountain Way area. You can see just how close the fire came to reaching this cabin. Thankfully, no structures were affected. No one is hurt. The fire is 100% contained.
Today marks 1 year since Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
The war turning into the deadliest conflict in Europe since World War II. When it started, millions of Ukrainian civilians fled the country. The United Nations confirms more than 7,000 Ukrainian civilians have died in the conflict, but officials say the actual number is likely much higher. The U.S. and its allies quickly slapped tough sanctions on Moscow, targeting their economy and energy. Billions of dollars worth of weapons, ammunition, and equipment continues to be sent to Ukraine from the U.S. and European nations. And the NTSB is releasing its early report on the toxic train crash in East Palestine, Ohio. Officials say the train crew did not get an early warning about an overheating axle just before the disaster. The report says the train was traveling just below the speed limit of 50 miles an hour as it flew off the tracks. No official cause was released, but the NTSB says early reports indicate that the crash could have 100% been prevented.
Well, it was a big day in the double murder trial of disgraced former attorney Alec Murdaugh. He surprisingly took the stand to testify and admitted he lied to police about being at the crime scene the night his wife and son were shot and killed. He blamed paranoia and an opioid addiction, but denied being a murderer. Cross-examination continues today. Also happening today, the Picky Chick consignment sale continues through the weekend at the Knoxville Expo Center. From babies to teens, you can find great deals on clothes, toys, supplies, and everything in between. Doors open to the public today at 10 a.m. until 8 o'clock. Almost everything is half off tomorrow. We have all the information for you right now in the WVLT News app.
Also today, the University of Tennessee Board of Trustees will meet in Chattanooga for the winter meetings. Officials will consider adopting the new campus master plan, which includes buying the land where the new proposed pedestrian bridge will go. That cost is around $9 million. The bridge would connect the UT campus with the South Knoxville riverfront.
6:55 now, getting a final look at your first alert traffic. Right now, all is quiet on those interstates and main roads. This is a live look at I-40 right around Hall of Fame Drive. You can see that traffic is moving without issues as you head out the door on this Friday. I-40, 640, 75 south, all moving right along. We're not following any incidents that would require an alternate route.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
All right, with those showers gradually increasing today and the rainiest day being tomorrow, I wanted to highlight that rainfall for your Saturday. That's when it really adds up. 80% coverage, it lingers throughout the day longer. That adds up. So you've got a good 3/4 to an inch of rain throughout most of East Tennessee. Notice it's lighter north, so that's where it just slowly reaches back up north. And then we do have a few more showers to come through part of our area on Sunday. So kind of like today, scattered. Goes up in coverage tomorrow, then back to scattered on Sunday. But that does also add up to the cooler days, the breezy, cooler, rainy trend. And then a cold front comes in like a squeegee and wipes that out, but ramps up those winds with that first alert weather day on Monday. So just keep in mind, a lot of change now as we transition into all of this with the cooler air moving in with spots of showers this morning. 49 Crossville to 51 La Follette. Now 57 Knoxville, again, bringing in those 50s for your day. Bringing in all these clouds. Again, it becomes more scattered in the coverage this afternoon. So spots of showers now, umbrella in hand. Scattered rain this afternoon to evening with temperatures hanging out in those mid to upper 50s. We'll stick with those highs in the 50s this weekend, but we are tracking all of this along with that rainfall potential through that first alert weather day coming up on the CW.
Yeah, a lot you've got your eye on. We're just trying to get to Tuesday, right?
At this point, yeah.
Let's see what we can do. 6:56 on this Friday morning. We're headed over to WBXX. We got 2 more hours of East Tennessee news, weather, and traffic. We'll see you there.
So glad.
It's bow time.